Ever since society deemed us too old to go knocking down sandcastles at the beach, we've had to look for other ways to vent our inherent need for destruction. So, when a game gave us the run of New York and told us to have at it, we rose to the challenge. This is Prototype 2, and here's our review.
You know, Rooks, this is like a dream come true for me.
What the hell are you talking about, Sanderson?
In Prototype 2, former protagonist Alex Mercer has been moved to one side to make way for James Heller. Heller, a former military man, holds Mercer responsible for the deaths of his wife and daughter, and now has nothing on his mind but vengeance. Handily, he also possesses Mercer's powers. Heller is intended as a more sympathetic family man with superpowers and given an excuse to be very angry. But while the developers have tried to make him more relatable, this reasoning is completely undermined the second Heller obliterates his first street load of innocent pedestrians in the name of revenge. In gameplay terms, Heller has access to some of Mercer's best powers, including running up buildings and gliding across the city. Over time, he'll unlock more abilities by absorbing enemy DNA. These include the grisly tentacles that can pull apart foes and string them up, the standard knifey slicing fingers, and shields that allow you to block damage. With the handy hunting mode, you'll also use these powers to track down targets, consume them, and assume their visage to infiltrate and turn the tables on your enemy. Main story missions don't deviate too far from this model, but there are also side quests to complete, lairs to level, black boxes to hunt down, and further upgrades to earn. As Heller, you're given unbelievable power, a big playground to run around, and a flimsy excuse to tear an entire city apart. You can prolong story missions as long as you like in order to cause mayhem on the streets of NYZ, but truthfully, after you've gotten that first murder spree out of your system, there isn't really that much else to do. The city itself doesn't make much of an impression. We've seen an apocalyptic scenario New York one too many times before, and this one is a little drab.
Put them in cages with the monsters.
But you're not in New York Zero to sightsee or to follow orders from a minimap. You're there to feel like an unstoppable force, and central to making this happen are your ever-growing powers. Prototype 2 offers up a variety of abilities, though our personal favorite were the tendrils. Possibly the goriest power in Heller's arsenal, these allow you to string people along the streets in pieces. Add to this the predatory hunt mode, the ability to tear guns off tanks, and the chance to uppercut a helicopter, and you've got a game that may be ridiculous, but will satisfy any need for wanton chaos.
We gotta keep the subject busy until the capture team gets here!
Expect a body count increase. This is a high clearance detail.
But while it was initially fun, we're the kind of gamers that need a reason to do the things we do. No matter how cool it is to tear a gun off a tank, or shoot down a helicopter, or beat a snarling monster to death with your bare hands, if you're given this much power but no reason to wield it, it inevitably just starts to get boring after a while, no matter how messily you can dispose of your foes. However, if you're just after a good old-fashioned eviscerating passers-by kind of time and don't mind the lack of focused story, then Prototype 2 will provide you with the sandbox and stand back to allow you to bloody it up. There's an undeniable thrill in free running off a skyscraper, landing in a restricted area, consuming military types and bringing down their corrupt facilities from the inside out. Or blowing up a tank by flinging civilians at it. This is your city, and if anyone says or acts otherwise, just let them try and stop you. That being said, it's somewhat sobering when you slowly realize that you're playing the game simply to watch stats tick upwards, and you can't actually name the people you're supposed to be avenging. Prototype 2 was fun, but it didn't set our world alight. New York Zero, on the other hand, was well and truly torched.